Without a proper email funnel set up in place, you're missing out on thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just coming from email alone.
Hello everybody and welcome to Search. This week we will talk about e-commerce email funnels. Now the reason that this topic is extremely important is because when a prospect or a client comes to us, we always like to look at the lowest hanging fruit. Where can we make the most amount of impact at the shortest amount of time? And email funnels is one of those things. So Joe, when we talk about email funnels, why is it essential? Why do we go back to clients and say, are you doing email marketing?
Well, the reason why we say it's essential is because looking at the data and looking at multiple industries, multiple different clients, you'll see that some of your highest converting customers come from email. There are multiple reasons why. These are customers that have already engaged with your brand. Either they've already made a purchase or they've subscribed to your newsletter. So therefore, they are more likely to convert. So without a proper email funnel set up in place, you're missing out on thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just coming from email alone.
Got it. So there are three types of email marketing that businesses usually do. The first is they don't do email marketing. Like they don't spend any time, any money on email marketing. The second type of client that does emails is they'll just send like a newsletter, like a weekly newsletter or a monthly newsletter and discounts and coupons, right? That's the weakest type of email marketing that you can do. The third one, and the one that we suggest, is actually dynamic email retargeting. What that means is you'll need to use some third-party tools for this, but if I'm your customer and I come to your e-commerce site, regardless of you being on BigCommerce, Volusion, Shopify, Magento, 3D Cart, Miva, whatever it is, and I log in, you then can, with a JavaScript tracking code, you can track my activity. So if I come and if I look at a specific product, let's say I look at this iPhone, right? And this is the iPhone that I want. It's an iPhone 11, et cetera, with specific capabilities. And if I add the item to my cart, and if I don't complete the cart and I leave, within the next 4 or 5 hours or 24 hours, you better send me an email saying, hey, you were looking at this item, you didn't add it to cart, or you were looking at this item, you added the item to cart and you didn't check out, here is a 5% coupon. So imagine if you did that for all the customers or all the potential customers you have on an engagement basis. This is the power of email marketing. I'll tell you the end result. We have a client that does probably $10 million annually. They weren't doing any email marketing 12 months ago. And after we implemented this dynamic email marketing, I think on a monthly basis now, their email revenue is about $50,000. So annually, just like that, they started bringing in $600,000, not changing anything, not spending a dollar on new acquisition. So what is the challenge here? Then, Joe, if this is such a easy concept, why are people not doing this?
Well, I think it's the setup, right? I think they're afraid of the setup because it does take time. You need to make sure that you have all of this in place. Like you said, you're going to need a third-party tool. A lot of business owners don't know what tool that is and how to configure that tool to get the maximum results.
Yep.
That's really the hardest step, is setting this up so that it will then run seamlessly in the background without you having to really actively work on generating revenue through email.
Got it. So the steps for this are the following. You have to be on a platform that this technology can integrate with. And if you have any questions about that technology, contact us and we'll be happy to guide you in the right direction. You have to install a JavaScript file that actually tracks this, and you have to integrate with this technology all your customers, all your signups and your database, as well as your products, because remember, you need to have your catalog integrated with this system for the system to be able to identify when to do the follow-up. Yep. And then somebody like Optimum 7 or somebody in your organization, if they're familiar with funnels, needs to build the funnels, and we have a list of these funnels. I think we have maybe 40, 45 funnels that we could build, but here are some of them. Abandoned cart, right? You have exit intent. You have specific product view. You have the engagement ones where somebody adds an item to cart, somebody views the cart, somebody goes to checkout, or somebody asks a question. I just counted like 7, 8 there. You have 40 of these. Yeah.
And then you have existing customers and customer segments,
yeah,
right? Because if I'm a customer and I've purchased from you 10 times in the past year, I want to see some good discounts or something in return.
Yeah.
And if you can segment out your customer base, you can give them hyper targeted emails. That's obviously going to give you the best result.
Got it. So you're really automating this process, let's say semi-automating this process, but you're setting these funnels and rules for your type of customers. And another thing that this type of technology does is it will track every single customer, and it will basically create a timeline so you'll be able to see, let's say John Adams is a client of yours or a customer of yours. John Adams in the past 3 years purchased $5,000 worth of merchandise from you, and this system will track when John Adams is getting cold. So on average, John Adams purchases every 60 days, right? And we see that it's been 90 days and John Adams hasn't purchased anything. John Adams is a client. You better trigger John Adams to purchase something. And then the next step for this, once we implement this, we'll actually automate. You can use SMS messaging. They have to opt in for it. You can use voicemail drops. It's all about touch points. You can use push notifications. So it's all about that touch point with your engaging customers. And that's what this kind of an email marketing funnel strategy can do for your business. If you're not doing this, you might be leaving hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on the table. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll speak to you next week.